Namaste, Pranam. Meditation on the Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshini. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O goddess, contained in the 18 chapters and showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of Advaita, non-dualism. O affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. And now, Krishna Vandana. Vasudevasutam devam kansachanuramardhanam devakim paramanandam krishnam vande jagadguru. O son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanu, extreme delight for Mother Devaki. O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. And now Sri Krishna talking to Arjuna in this 16th shloka of the Sankhya Yoga, the second adhyaya of the Bhagavad Gita. Nāsato vidyate bhāvo, nābhāvo vidyate sataḥ, ubhayorapi dṛiṣhṭo stvanayos tattva-darśhibhiḥ. What Sri Krishna is saying here, na asataḥ vidyate bhāvo. Na is not. Asataḥ unreal. Asat. Asataḥ. Vidyate is. Bhāvo existence. Being. So the unreal has no existence. Na abhāvah vidyate sataḥ. But for the sat, there is na abhāvah vidyate. Abhava is scarcity or non-being. There is never a time when the sat was not there. It is always present. The sat, the real, is always there. There is no scarcity of sat being not there. It is eternal. So the unreal never existed and sat continues to exist forever. Na abhāvah vidyate sataḥ. Never ceases to exist. The real never ceases to exist. Ubhayorapi dṛiṣhṭantah. Ubhayorapi means the two, sat and asat, the real and the unreal. That the truth about these two, that one, the unreal never existed and sat, real, always existed. This truth, ubhayorapi dṛiṣhṭvantah, who has seen this truth, who has seen this final dṛiṣhṭah antah, the final truth, the ultimate truth, who has realized this ultimate truth, who has realized this truth has been realized tu anayoho tattva-darśhibhiḥ. Tattva-darshi is the knowers of the ultimate knowledge. They have understood this ultimate truth, the truth about sat and the asat. This truth about sat and asat has been realized by the knowers of the ultimate truth. So the unreal has no existence. The real never ceases to exist. The truth about both has been realized by the tattva-darshi, the knowers of the ultimate truth. So the everlasting existence of the real, the ultimate reality. There is only one reality in this universe, and that is Satchitananda, the existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. That is always, there is no abhāvo of existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. There is no abhāvo of the reality, ultimate reality. So that is what Sri Krishna is explaining to Arjuna now. That it is not that the we as such never existed. The real I, always the self with capital S, it has always been there, it is there, it will be there. It is only the body, the perishable, the unreal things that come and go. Now, Swami Chidbhavanandaji's commentary on this shloka is tattva-darshana is seeing into the reality of things. Tattva is the reality of things, and darshana is having realized, having seen. That is tattva-darshana. So one who has seen the ultimate reality of the things is tattva-darshi. So that such tattva-darshi, such knowers of truth, they have understood this they have had realization. They have understood this ultimate truth that the unreal has no existence and the real never ceases to exist. It is always, it is permanent, it is eternal. Beings are seeking to have correct understanding of things about them. You see, that is what our life is about. We always, the purpose of our life is to understand things around us. And through trying to understanding the things around us, ultimately we end up in knowing the thing within, which is the ultimate reality. First, we start learning the things outside and then we get within. To the extent their understanding of things is perfect, their adjustment too becomes perfect. When we start knowing the outside world, our understanding of being in that world also improves. Life is a series of experiments to get at the permanent in preference to the impermanent. We always want something permanent. But whenever we try to look for permanent in the outside world, we start realizing that nothing is permanent. Our joys, our sorrows, our happiness, our miseries, these are never permanent. Howsoever we may make an effort to make the joys, to make the happiness, to make the pleasures a permanent feature of our life, it never happens. Every joy is followed by a sorrow. Every sorrow is followed by a joy. Every pleasure is followed by pain. Every pain is again followed by pleasure. So nothing is permanent. Everything is come and go, come and go, come and go. But what happens? A man is attracted by a panoramic plot of land on a river bank and he decides to put up a beautiful house. It is all in that world. Oh, such a beautiful plot is there. Let me construct a house. But on investigation, he finds out that the land is liable to inundation during the rains. So it can get flooded. looking wise, oh, it is such a beautiful, piece of land on the bank of the river. Let me have a palatial bungalow. And then I start realizing, as I start thinking, understanding it deeper and deeper, then I know that, oh, this is only good to look at from a distance. If I build up my house will get underwater when the river starts flooding. So, though the plot happens to be ideally situated, it has to be rejected for valid reasons. Then, when I know that if I construct a house there, it will get flooded, it will get underwater, and then what is the use of then constructing a house at such a place? Many things in nature are unreal and unreliable while seeming to be real and reliable. Like, look at all of us. We all consider our lives to be permanent, isn't it? And that's why this ego of ours starts, you know, taking its head up. We think the world is going to behave as per our wish because we are permanent. We are ever present. That's what we feel. The body is going to be ever present. But no, when we see that right from our birth, there have been so many changes in the body. We took birth as infants, then we became children, then we became youth, and during the youth, it was our energy levels were at such a high, great extent that we never even thought about getting ourselves into an old age and then getting shattered with old age. This is not working, that is not working. Hmm? So we never think about the impermanence in this world. And then we get this understanding. Then we get into this realization, oh, all these things that we have been attached to have no permanence. Only the ultimate reality is the one which is permanent enough. And then that awakening dawns in our mind. And Sri Krishna says, the seers of truth, when they have this ultimate realization, when they come face to face with this ultimate truth, then they know that the body, pleasure and pain associated with the body, they are all impermanent, they are non-existent. Only the anandam, the ultimate bliss, is only the permanent feature because it is the part of Satchidananda. Though they are now the pleasure and pain, their existence is equivalent to non-existence, abhavam, the body as well as the pleasure and pain which are experienced by the body. When the body itself is impermanent, when the body itself is fallible, how can pleasure and pain also be permanent then? They also have to be impermanent. They also have to cease to exist sometime. The body is devoid of bhāvo and therefore unreal. It is not, it was not there in the past. It has come into being now and it will not be there in the future. What seems to be real now is only modification of elements. It is just made up of those five elements, gross elements, nothing more than that, nothing less than that. And being a modification of these five elements, it has to stop existing some point of time. The man of understanding should not be affected by pleasure and pain which are born of identification with the body. Atman is the existence. It is the ultimate reality. It is bhava. which means awareness or pure consciousness, which is called as Satchidananda. And that is the only permanent feature. It remains untouched by time, space, and causation. It always is, it is, it will ever be. The time frame of minutes, hours, days, months, years, it is not affected by it. It is not affected by the time scale as such. It is from Adi to Anadi, Anadi to Adi. No beginning, no end. It is eternal. States of mind such as wakefulness, dream, and sound sleep, they do not affect the Atman. The Atman which is residing inside, which is residing in this impermanent body, is not affected by the states of Jagrat and even Sushupti. It is not Swapna. It does not get affected by any of these. Modifications which are characteristics of things phenomenal do not take place in Atman. It is only in our body and mind we have these reactions. You see, when we get afraid, suddenly our body starts perspiring. The hair stand on end and all those kind of the bodily signs. Or even when we are extremely happy, even then the body reacts in that way. Suddenly the tears of joy starts falling from our eyes. Anandashru. But Atman is not affected by either pleasure or pain. It is merged in the eternal bliss. For that, this bodily pleasure and pain are nothing. It doesn't get affected by. Prajnanam Brahman. Awareness is reality. Atman is aware of only itself. It is by itself. And that awareness of myself is the ultimate reality. It doesn't need to know all these impermanent things. Now, pertaining to this particular shloka, nāsato vidyate bhāvo, the unreal never existed and the real never ceases to exist. Swami Chidbhavananda ji has quoted a quotation of Sri Ramakrishna. The ocean of infinite existence, knowledge, bliss is ever itself, unaffected by the phenomenon. What Sri Ramakrishna has said, just like Sri Krishna has said, that the unreal has no existence, but the real never ceases to exist. And Sri Ramakrishna says, the ocean of infinite existence, knowledge, bliss, the Satchidananda, the ocean of Satchidananda is ever by itself, like the Atman is ever by itself. What Sri Krishna has said, the real is ever by itself. Sri Ramakrishna says, the Satchidananda existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute is ever by itself. It is always existent, unaffected by the phenomenal. The unreal has no influence on it. It never gets affected by, influenced by the the dualities of pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow. It never gets affected. It is in the blissful state of itself. So that is the 16th shloka that Sri Krishna has explained. Unreal never existed, but the real never ceases to exist. It is always eternal. It is present by itself. It enjoys by itself. It doesn't need any external stimuli of pleasure and pain. It doesn't get affected by that. It is in everlasting bliss. So that is the 16th shloka telling Sri Krishna telling about the nature of the real and the unreal. So that is the reading for today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ram Krishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.